Meir, your turn.
Thank you very much for having me here. Necessary. So what's the problem here? Israel has been under severe security challenges for since the introduction of the first practicing Zionists to this country back in the modern 19th century. They have not been accepted by the local people ever since, who practically reject their presence here and their growth here, used a variety of means in order to express their uneasiness about this situation, using different kinds of means. One of the more prevalent ones was we would now term as terrorism. Okay, so we have had this problem continuously throughout the generations, and of course, to a large extent, since the establishment of the State of Israel 70 years ago, again, more severely, continuously, but more severely after the occupation of the territories affected mostly by the Palestinians, and the most severe challenge, of course, was during the second Intifada, 2004, in which more than 1,000 people were killed by different kinds of terrorist activities, which is approximately 1/3. With 4 years, we had about 1/3 of the total fatalities from terrorist activities in these 4 years, 1/3 of the total in 120 years. Matter of fact, the second largest wave of terrorist attacks was in the first year, the War of Independence, before the Arab countries with the military establishments have invaded Israel after the establishment of the state. Okay? That was a major disruption of the state, not only in terms of the damage to the fatalities, but mostly because of the total disruption of the routine of the different kinds of functionalities. Since then, we had another form of terror activities against the state of Israel, mostly manifested by the high trajectory weapon systems, mortars, rockets, and missiles that were launched against Israel in instances, one from 2006, the Second Lebanon War, Hezbollah, and then 3 consecutive called campaigns or rounds of hostilities in Gaza, from Hamas, again when different kinds of high trajectory weapons launched against civilian populations. I think that it is important for us to understand that basically we have here 2 different kinds of the same phenomenon of terrorism. For me, it doesn't make much difference if the disruption is aimed by explosives to demoralize and bring chaos and fear to the civilian population. They're manifested by suicide bombers with the explosive vests, or by a rocket. Basically, it's different means for the same notion. I think that both of them are terrorists. So this has become a very serious kind of a challenge to the state of Israel throughout the years, but mostly, unfortunately, in the last, let's say, 15 years or 16. So it's a problem. Then again, when we talk about disruptions, this is the word I use for emergencies or for disasters. God forbid. So disruptions is the word I use. Major disruptions, we have to think also to remember that the most serious disruption is still awaiting us. It's nothing to do with terrorism. It's mostly natural based, forthcoming, expected, for sure. Next, earthquake that will be coming to the state of Israel, hopefully later than the next day. Because every 1 century, roughly, here this Holy Land is being disrupted by a major earthquake. Now, there are different kinds of calculations as to the severity of the consequences of this event. But if we base ourselves on the last one that happened here in 1927, July of 1927, we take the same magnitude and we translate the expectation of the forecast for casualties, the updated official numbers speak about 200% compared with the total losses from terrorist activities in the last 120 years. Okay? Quite serious. Hopefully not less than that, perhaps more. Nobody knows. So we have two problems. One is the natural disruption. The other one is the man-made disruption. So how are we doing with regard to responding to those two challenges? So I say not too good. People who are responsible for the emergency management in Israel say medium plus or medium minus. Okay? Some also say we should look at the half full or half empty glass. In other words, we are not too great in our response capacity. The challenges that we know are coming. Not to speak about challenges that we do not think are going to come. Those are usually the more serious ones, the unexpected challenges. So if we are doing medium or mediocre or average to the known and expected threats, how are we doing with regard to the unknown threats? Not too good. So there are a variety of reasons why we are in such an unfavorable position in this very critical issue, which, by the way, security-wise, is the most serious security problem of the state of Israel. Especially now that the Iranians have been receding a little bit. So, we still have about, nobody knows, 10 years of a pause. Okay? With the terrorists, with Hamas, it can happen today. Okay? We are that close to another campaign or round, which will hit, most of the populated areas in Israel. Are we ready for that eventuality? Not too good. I would say not good enough. And I would also say something else to you. There is a very, very thorough study, forecast, that has been conducted by Ministry of Defense, brought to the government some months ago by NEMA. So NEMA, the National Emergency Management Authority, that has been mentioned here before, incorporated a very thorough study about the future cost, future disasters or disruptions, came up with a very serious kind of work. They presented to the government in July of last year. The government said, approved. Let me tell you that if we are sort of medium kind of prepared for the previous eventualities, since the new eventuality, or the new focus, or the new scenario is about 8 times more serious. 8 times more serious quantitatively than the present forecast that we have. And this is not my prediction. I just go with the flow. So if we are so and so in terms of our preparedness to the previous scenario, we are probably less prepared for the future scenario. So the situation calls for our attention, doesn't it? So if you ask me why is Israel not good 80%, let's say, okay, prepared for the future eventuality. There are different kinds of reasons for that. I'm not going to bore you with the entire analysis. I would just want to tell you what, to me, is the most serious problem. Hinders the capacity of this country to enhance its preparedness for the forecasted, formulated, and approved by the government future scenarios, both of terrorism, different kinds, and of the earthquakes. We're not talking about just visions of thoughts of different people. We're talking about the official Israeli account. So why are we not treating them? As I said, I think this is my interpretation. I think there is one major reason that if it is addressed properly, it will change the entire picture dramatically. And this is the issue of responsibility and accountability. In Israel, we do not have, as of now, anybody, any organization that has the national responsibility and is not accountable for the preparedness, the management of, and dealing with the consequences of a major disruption. Not one. So, my suggestion to this distinguished forum is that if we change the situation, and there is a normative basis or a legislation to decide, that will decide, that there is an organ, a body, a group of people, a person, whatever, that would sort of be responsible for the formulation of the policy, for the development of the guidelines, and for the management of this whole business. It's a very serious kind of a business. It's very serious, very complicated. We changed the whole situation dramatically. I want just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. We have in Israel basically 2 fronts to deal with. We have the military front, which deals with the tanks, with the Navy, with the Air Force, etc., etc., which deals with all the issues of the military. This is the military. This front is being organized carefully, meticulously, by a basic law of this country. There is the government, there is the cabinet, there is the Minister of Defense, there is the Chief of Staff, and everything is hierarchically, ordinarily organized. It doesn't mean that everything is working beautifully, of course, but it is a system, it's a working system. Okay? I would suggest to you 2 things. Number one, the civilian front in Israel, which is much more complicated than the military one, no hierarchy, with people like you, like me, like our kids. Those are the players. We're not talking about soldiers and officers and technicians. We're talking about ordinary people. Okay? Very complicated and challenging kind of a system. is not formulated, it's not structured, it's chaotic, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work enough. So, if there is a law that will organize this whole system, or at least give it a direction, okay, I think it will be a dramatic shift for them. That's why I have been trying to suggest for years, in particular since 2006, when we were shocked by the performance of the civilian front in Israel because of the minor challenge of Hezbollah at the time. More than 1/3 of the country has been in total chaos and demoralization. 1/3 of the people of the northern part of Israel left their homes because they didn't have any reason to stay there under the rocket fire. It was quite a shock. So, good people came up with an idea, not because I said, I agree with them. It's time for us to organize the system legally, to have a normative basis. 10 years have elapsed. At least 5 different drafts have been carefully drafted by lawyers. Some of the drafts have reached the parliament and lost their way there. There is another one that was, this one here, has been drafted last year. I pray that it will find its way to the committees. It will probably not pass because of a variety of reasons. There are many reasons why this is the case, why we do not have this law. None of them has to do with the necessity of it. I want to venture into one guess of mine. It's not a total guess. It's an educated guess, if you wish, based on many interviews and discussions I had with very senior participants in the process in the last 11 years, since the first attempt. The law has not been forwarded to fruition because nobody in Israel wants to be responsible and mostly accountable for this issue. Okay? It's a mess. It's a messy issue. It will be messier. Okay? So, those who are in a position to decide, that is, the government on one hand, and the legislatures, especially within a system of a coalition. This is our system. And this is great stuff. Could you prepare another draft, please? Okay. And that's what's happened. Draft after draft. Now this one has been drafted recently. By the way, each the person who is in charge of NEMA, what is it? The head. The Saleh Tiger, who is the head of NEMA, happens to be a very good friend of mine and an extremely capable person. Extremely. He is a doer. And he understands exactly what has to be done. Not only in terms of this paper, he exactly knows what has to be done in terms of whatever is within his responsibility. He said, I want to pass the bill. This is one of his missions. That's not me to say. He said that. One of his goals, come up with the bill and to pass it in legislation. So he asked the honorable people here to prepare a draft. I don't know whether this draft has been prepared by or passed the legal counsels of the Minister of Defense. I don't know. Of course. Okay. I think it's an issue. It's a problem. It's a challenge. And I really hope that I'm wrong, that this draft, or perhaps an improved version of this draft, will pass. Because for me, it's more important that we are going to have a bill, we're going to have a law for the home front, than to get into the particularities of the law. Okay? The most important thing is to have a law. Because we need somebody who is responsible and accountable, which we don't have now. Okay? I think that any situation, or ordinary situation, a structured situation, this is my understanding. I open it, of course, to you, as the chairperson of this session for discussion. I'm wrong. I think that it's better to have a law, even if I have some dozens of remarks about the nature of the law, about the formulation of the different articles. To me, it's less important. And I have been talking with legislators about that. They're not interested. It's not an issue. Bring them something about supermarkets. Okay? Okay? They're not interested. Because they don't understand. And you know why they don't understand? What the situation really is? Because nobody tells them what the situation really is. They don't know. People in Israel don't know. But I said to you today about the 8 times over kind of a risk that we have, not because I say it, because the formal scenario that has been adopted by the government says so. Okay? But the government has decided not to make it public to the overall. So the members of Knesset, they don't know about it. They don't know about it. Not because it's a secret, but because the government decided it's better for the people not to know. To live it up. Okay? Having said all that, let me tell you only one thing about, only one remark that I have about the book. You participated? Members of the board. And I just say one thing, that perhaps I'm wrong. Okay. This law, only one. This law is an email. It's a person. In Israel, for those of you who are not familiar with the Israeli legislation, legislature. Israel, we are doing fine. Personal legislation. For example, if you have a member of Knesset who needs something to be organized in terms of his judicial procedures, pass a law that this will happen in general, of course, because of the good of the people. This is the NEMA law. I'll tell you only one thing. Please tell me that I'm wrong. In Israel, there are many agencies that deal with the emergencies, disruptions. Dozens, not to mention, for example, the local authorities, 250. But basically, we have one major agency, another one that is half major, semi-major. The major one is the Israeli IDF Home Front Command. Okay? It constitutes close to 100,000 people. Most of them are in Israel. 60,000. 60,000, okay? We'll take the number. Those are the persons, and this is the organization that is providing not only preparedness, but also management, if and when there is a major disruption. That's their job. And they are preparing themselves better or worse for this capacity. Some would say that they are doing a great job, some would say that they are doing not so good job, etc. But they're there, that's the one. Okay, Pikuda Owen. But you mentioned them, was established in 1992. Okay? And the lessons of a war, we need wars to promote us different kinds of solutions. Okay, so we have the home front command. General, lots of other officers. If you look very carefully in this law, I look inside the law, no mention of home front command. No mention. As a matter of fact, it says there, parenthetically somewhere, it is to be clarified that this proposal does not refer to issues that have been formulated or organized in another law. This is the 1951 law. So, etc. 1951. And are in the authority of the Home Front Command. So we have a law for the preparedness of the civilian space for emergencies in Israel, and it mentions or it states that the Home Front Command is outside of the law. It's external to the law. So wait a minute, is it a joke? Is it a joke? Okay? Now I'll tell you why it's not a joke. Okay? Because NEMA, which is the second most important, very important agency in Israel, very important, part of the Ministry of Defense, which is so formidable in Israel. Okay? It's a huge administration with important capacities in Israel. It's not something, it's not the Ministry of Agriculture. Okay? And it is responsible both for NEMA and for the Home Front Command. The two sons of the ministry, the Home Front Command and NEMA, are not really very good brothers. And they hardly talk. When they talk, they mostly fight. So this is why, in my uncalculated case, okay, unlike the other one, which was a calculated case, is not mentioned here, and the relations or what the Home Front Command should be doing or will be doing in Israel in time of emergencies.
That's a great point.
This is a great point to stop. I have another one, but I'm not going to say it now.
This is a great point.